A year ago at this time, you were sort of kicked in the deep end, just got on campus in your first spring. Can you describe just sort of how much different it is in terms of a comfort level, familiarity with all your teammates, and how you've grown in a year?
Definitely. No, I think one of the biggest things for me this year is that I don't have to feel anything out anymore. I more or less know what to expect when I come out here each day, and my goal this spring is just to be the most competitive player out here, and I'm trying to do that each practice.
Yeah, how much chemistry do you feel like you already have? I mean, now this year compared to last year with some of these receivers that have thrown you for a year.
Like tenfold, yeah. Especially with guys like Rasheed and Jordan, Junior coming back. It's a huge difference from this year to last year, for sure.
When Coach Lashley met with the media a couple of weeks ago, he mentioned that last time he was here, he had gotten to know you a little bit and starting the recruiting process. How's your relationship different with him now that he split for a couple of years, came back, and now he's your head coach?
It's pretty incredible how God works like that. I'd say there was no coach I got closer to throughout my recruiting process than Coach Lashley. And for him to come back a couple of years later was just a huge blessing. And with the new coaching change and Coach Lashley coming in, there's a lot to get adjusted to, but Coach Lashley has been the absolute coolest, most caring coach for us that we could have, and so we're really lucky to have him.
Yeah, what was your reaction when you did find out, oh, here comes Lashley?
Awesome, incredible. No, there's no coach in the country I trust more than Coach Lashley in my future, and super lucky to have him here.
Did you end up sort of selling your teammates on the idea of their new coach since you knew him a little bit and they didn't?
Oh, definitely. No, and there were a lot of dudes on the team who actually got to know Coach Lashley when he was here. We still have, I guess it'd be our senior class that got to play with him a couple of years ago. But yeah, definitely for the kids in my class who didn't get recruited by Coach Lashley, you don't really need to sell Coach Lashley because his resume kind of speaks for himself, but having known him on a personal level, it definitely helped out.
Obviously, you were a four-year starter in high school, which is very unique, and you played a lot of games. And then last year, you operated as a backup quarterback, come in off the bench a little bit. I guess how just different and probably challenging was that to go from playing so often to having to kind of sit back and watch for a year?
Right. Well, I mean, starter playing, not playing, it doesn't have any difference on how competitive you can be when you come out here every day. So, that's my mentality, is just to come out here and be the most competitive, most prepared quarterback in the country that I can be. And the rest will take care of itself. So that's where my head's at right now.
I know you're only 2 practices in, but from your role, how much different is Coach Lashley's offense going to be from what you were in last year?
There's a lot of similarities. It's really interesting. It's actually very similar to what I was doing in high school with my high school coach, Coach Novikov. They have very similar coaching styles, but man, these guys like to take shots, and I'm all about it. So we'll be throwing the ball deep for sure, which I'm really excited about.
I saw your brother medically retired. Do you have to call him coach now?
I'll jokingly call him Coach Stone every now and then, just to make sure he doesn't make me run gassers after practice. But no, that's my best friend. That's my older brother. So.
That's 2 brothers now coaching, right?
2 brothers, yep.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Is that in the distant future for you, something you consider?
I feel like at this point, I mean, you got to be thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
Oldest brother is in Virginia, Hampton-Sydney. He's doing great there, and Parker just got into coaching. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely on the table. But I want to be playing football as long as I can be, and then we'll see what happens after.
You talked about throwing a lot of deep shots. One guy who's caught a lot of them over the first couple of days is Beau Corrales. Mm-hmm. What's your early impression of Beau?
Beau is awesome. I think that dude probably has the widest wingspan of anybody I've ever played with. So he literally just put it within 3 feet on any side of him, and he's going to come down with it. Even great football player, even better dude. Super Christ-centered, very cool brother that I've gotten to know, and I'm looking forward to playing with him.
One thing I've noticed is even if you're not the one who threw it, you're very quick to go celebrate with your receivers after big touchdowns. I guess just how is that something you got to is it just natural that you just want to go celebrate with those guys?
Oh yeah,
or is it like
100%. No, I mean these are my best friends in the world, so it's that's her quote. Success of others doesn't limit your own, and especially when it's guys like the receivers who are selling out every single practice, running hundreds of routes, going hard all the way up until period 18. It's you can't help but be happy for those guys when they make a big play. So,
just what's it been like working with obviously a couple guys that were big targets were in the combine a couple days ago. kind of a different skill set with some of these receivers. What's it been like maybe not relying on speed, but some more bigger physical guys?
We have bigger physical guys, but I'll tell you, we'll still got some burners. Yeah, Jordan Curley and Rasheed Rice, I'd put them, and Jalen Record, I'd put their speed up against just about anybody. No, but I mean, especially this year, like once we get down to the red zone, we'll definitely have more so of those guys that we can just throw a fade ball up to. Guys with those huge wingspans who can go up and get it, which is awesome because that wasn't necessarily our strength last year. But yeah, we got big guys who can go up and get it, but I don't think there's been any deficit when it comes to speed on the field.
Obviously, you and Tanner are both very competitive guys, and obviously, quarterback's one position with one guy that gets to start. I guess how do you guys kind of balance, that relationship? Is it almost like an unsaid, like, hey, obviously we're teammates, but obviously it's a competitive thing too?
Yeah, I mean it's a competitive brotherhood, regardless of what position it is on the team. It is much cooler to have been playing on a team for a year now and getting to kind of know what our strengths and weaknesses are, and it's awesome, man. I encourage him, he encourages me, and we can only make each other better. So I think that's both of our mindsets.